Hello, firstly, would you like to tell us your name and your occupation, please?
Okay, my name is Dr. David Alapitas. I am in the public service. I have a political appointment as a Commissioner Tax Appeal Tribunal in the Nigerian Tax Appeal Tribunal. I have a lot of appointments in my state government as a member of the technical team in negotiating between the Nigerian Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria and my state government. I'm also the lead team in my state change management in Oracle. So basically, these are the major things that I do, apart from these tax appeal tribunal matters that we do handle.
Sounds very important. So, what did you learn at being on Texan?
The Texan, what I learned, so many things, but basically this course is on leadership. On leadership, one of the main things that I've learned is that, especially on negotiation, if you are coming to the negotiation table, if you have anything to negotiate, then you just have to plan. Before this time, most times we go into negotiations without planning, without knowing what we are going to negotiate, without looking at the facts, without studying the matters. But in Texas, we have been told, we have been instructed that for you to go into a negotiation, you have to look at the matter, study the matter, go through the matter, plan and prepare properly for the matter so that you get details of everything you want to negotiate. If you don't know what you want to negotiate, you cannot even negotiate. So you have to be grounded on the matter you are negotiating. So planning is key when it comes to in terms of negotiation. I think that's one fundamental thing I've learned. The other thing I've also learned that in leadership, you must, have the values of an all-inclusive leadership. In leadership, you have to have the values of all-inclusive by trying to carry your followers along. Leadership is not autocratic. Leadership is dynamic. Leadership has to do with the people. When the people you are leading are not following up, are not interested, or you cannot carry all of them along, then your leadership is just, you are not leading, but you are just commanding.
And what are you going to do differently back at home now you've been on Texan?
Yes, like I've said before, there are a few things I'm going to do differently, especially when it comes to leadership. I'll change probably my leadership style by becoming more engaging and more knowing the feelings and the values of the people. And sometimes we have also learned about the cultural aspect of it because in Nigeria we have diversity of cultures. I need to know the background, the culture the person is coming from so that I can, know how to manage those situations. The other thing is, just like I've said, when it comes to negotiation, because I've been involved in a lot of negotiation, there was one particular negotiation that we actually failed because we didn't prepare well. So I think that's one of the key things I'm taking home. When it comes to negotiation, it's more or less like the most important part of the negotiation is planning for the negotiation, not the negotiation on itself. It's planning for the negotiation. So I think what I'm taking home, if I am involved in negotiations, I have to plan, I have to study, I have to read, I have to do a lot of things, I have to ask questions, I have to communicate, know a lot of things before I go into the negotiation table.
Okay, lovely. And is there anything else you'd like to say about Texan?
Like I've said, you are fantastic people. That's the only thing I want to say. Yes, wonderful people. Thank you for everything you have done for us. Thank you for the food. It's interesting. Thank you for taking care of us, the shopping and all the rest.
And your trip to Arsenal, did you enjoy that?
Oh, that was wonderful. That was fantastic. That is the high point of this event. To me, I don't know of others. Because to tell you the truth, before coming to London, I decided that whatever it's going to take, I must get to the Emirates Stadium before leaving London. But I came and it was part of the program, so I enjoyed everything. I went to the dressing room. In fact, that is the height of it. I went to the dressing room. I saw all my players, especially Saka's shirt and Martinelli's shirt. I snapped there, and then I snapped with as a winger's statue, which is very, very significant.
Firstly, would you like to introduce yourself and what occupation you have?
Okay, I'm Otumba Sonya Ogunkwade, that's my name. I'm a legal practitioner by profession, and I had served as a presidential assistant under two governments, under the administration of under the administration of Obasanjo, President Obasanjo, and also Yar'Adua. That's between 2006 and 2011. Presently, I still maintain my law firm. I'm a commissioner in the Tax Appeal Tribunal in Nigeria.
Wow. And part of TechSem, what have you learned the most?
I've learned lots with the package of the courses of the subjects matter, which were discussed, were presented. I now become more focused in leadership, the style, presentation, orientation, and also even mental capability. How to, I've learned all this within the course of the training or the program.
Brilliant. And what have you enjoyed the most?
I've enjoyed the orderliness of the organizers. I've enjoyed the presentations of the consultants. I've enjoyed the practicability of the consultants. They bring in life examples in all their presentation. And with that one, the participants were able to be carried along. Right. It's not theoretical, you can say they also practicalize by bringing life, even using themselves as examples. So that really sends the message deep into our hearts. And that's wonderful.
That's nice to hear. And going back to your work, what would you do differently now being on TechSem?
One, my ability to dispense justice will be further heightened. Understanding of human beings will be further heightened. Mental capability will be further heightened, and also my focus in the job.
Brilliant.
I've learned all this in the course of the training, the program.
And would you say anything else about TechSem?
It's a wonderful organization, I must confess, and they are very organized. Their staff are really warm. They are very committed, and you can see the way they do their job is with every enthusiasm, every member of the team. That I noticed that one. There's no dull moment with any member of the team. So you can see the passion which they carry along in doing their job, and that's reflected in the way they related to all participants.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Firstly, would you like to tell us your name and your occupation, please?
My name is Ajoko Vitalis Friday. I'm a legal practitioner from Nigeria.
Lovely. And what have you learned on being the course on TechSem?
I've learned a lot, including negotiation skills, leadership skill, never giving up, and a whole lot of things. I've learned so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And what have you enjoyed the most on TechSem?
What I've enjoyed the most is coming from areas where we hitherto didn't pay attention to. Self-confidence, never giving up, and the way and manner the message is passed in a very simple and polite way. It sticks in the head, and it's not going to leave it out easily. It's something that will stick, and it all has to do with our everyday practice, which we didn't pay attention to. But it's all about our lives. The teachings revolve around our lives every day to the activity.
What would you do differently now, being back at home, now that you've learnt on TechSem?
A lot, quite a lot, ranging from how we, in the legal practitioner relationship with persons and groups, including in terms of drafting, passing messages, negotiation skills, and in adjudicating over matters. A whole lot of things will need to be done differently, because before this time we didn't think it was really necessary. But having been tutored or gathered this from TechSem, we think it's real life practical issues, and I'm going to put them into practice, and it will enhance my performance.
Brilliant, thank you. And is there anything else you'd like to say about TechSem?
Well, I would just want to say to them, keep doing the good work. Don't get tired.
Hi, would you like to introduce yourself, please, and your occupation?
My name is Hilary Ongwe. I am the Secretary and the Head of Administration, Tax Appeal Tribunal, Southwest Zone, Ibadan, Nigeria.
Lovely. And what have you liked being on the course of TechSem?
The course has been very wonderful, very insightful. I can tell you I've really enjoyed it. It has exposed and the nuances of organizational leadership and management. And after this course now, I'm really going to take a new approach on how I manage the affairs of the Southwest Zone of the Tax Appeal Tribunal Secretariat. I'm going to be friendlier with my staff. I'm going to do more to carry them along and to improve on most of the aspects of management, proactiveness, and all that.
Lovely. And what have you enjoyed the most being on TEXM?
TEXM is a very great organization. The way it is run in terms of in terms of punctuality, I've seen that everything is well planned and on time. That's one of the greatest takeaways. And the faculties, the people they have brought, the resource persons have been very wonderful. They appear to understand what we need, and they give information on that. So it's been very interesting. I know that certainly not just myself, but every other colleague on this training will have a great change, a better way of doing things after this.
So on that note, what are you going to do differently when you're back at home in your workforce after you've been on TEXM course?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm going to be more given to planning. I'm going to be more deliberate about the things we want to achieve at any point in time. And generally, I'm going to be friendlier with my staff, knowing that they're actually the people doing it. I'm only the one taking the credit as the zonal head. So I'm going to be friendlier with my staff.
That's very nice. And is there anything else you'd like to say about TEXM?
Well, I just want to say that they have to keep up the good works they are doing. Of course, we cannot say that TEXM has come to a level of perfection. So I want them to continue improving, so as to serve humanity, serve institutions across the world, because I can understand that the clientele of TEXM cuts across the entire globe. So I want them to keep up the good works, and I also wish them well.
Thank you very much for your feedback and your kind words.
My name is Prince Razak Adekunle Quadri, Commissioner at the Tax Appeal Tribunal, Nigeria, and the past President, Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria.
Lovely, thank you. And what have you liked being on the TEXM course?
I think it's been quite great. We've been, the theme has been on leadership, and we have learned quite a lot. And I'm sure that this has impacted much on the participants.
Lovely. What have you enjoyed the most being on TEXM?
Yeah, in terms of the facilitators, they have been quite wonderful. I think they brought the real men that have had the practice to really lecture us. Then outside that, we are people that have actually gone through a lot of things within our country. So the welfare provided by TEXM has been quite wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you. And what were you going to do differently now you go back home after you've been on TEXM?
Wonderful. I think we are going to put into use the things that we have learned in this place, and it's going to impact on the system. Generally, we have learned how to do things differently. We have learned how that change cannot be ruled out at any point in time. So we are going to do things differently, and very well, we are going to have many things to write up about.
Hi, firstly, would you like to tell us your name and your occupation, please?
Okay, my name is Bolanle Hajara Oniyogi. I'm the Coordinating Secretary, Tax Appeal Tribunal, Nigeria.
Lovely, thank you. And what have you liked being on the course of TEXM?
It has been an insightful experience, thought-provoking. I've learned new ways of doing things. especially in leadership, in ADR, and reaching an agreement in negotiation.
Lovely. Thank you. And what have you enjoyed the most being on TechSim?
What I enjoy the most is the interactive aspect of it.
And what are you going to do differently when you go back home to Nigeria after being on TechSim?
Okay, I'm going to deploy some of the strategies learned from the presentations by Professor Griffiths, the MP, and some other presenters, facilitators.
Thank you. Firstly, would you like to tell us your name and your occupation, please?
I'm Samira Abakar Gwandu, Mrs. I'm a legal practitioner and I work with the Tax Appeal Tribunal, Nigeria.
Lovely, thank you. And what have you liked being on the course of TechSim?
Basically the courses, the way they're designed, I think the facilitators are engaging, they're knowledgeable, they know what they're doing, and they make it fun and entertaining. So yeah,
You like it?
yeah.
And what have you enjoyed the most being on TechSim?
I've learned a lot. I'm a better person for attending the course. I believe I'll be able to now take that back, and because the people, the networking, knowing a lot more about leadership skills.
Brilliant. And what are you going to do differently when you go back home now being on TechSim?
To apply what I've learned as a refresher course on leadership, to now engage other stakeholders, my team, people around, and even my bosses. I'll try and share what I've learned with them on how to be better leaders.
Thank you. And is there anything else you'd like to say about TechSim?
Yeah, I think, I believe TechSim has a way of making people, feel comfortable, accommodating. They make it fun and interesting, lively. The people we've met, they're quite warm and welcoming. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Hello, and can you just please tell us your name and your occupation, please?
My name is Professor Kabir Isa Ndago. I'm a professor of accounting at Bayero University, Kano, Nigeria.
Lovely. And what have you liked being on the course of TechSim?
Yeah, the course here we are attending is designed to improve our performance in the course of adjudicating tax cases between taxpayers and tax administrators. And this is what will stabilize the tax system in Nigeria. And we have gone far in doing that, but this training will definitely give us more power in ensuring effective adjudication of tax cases in that country.
Lovely, thank you. And what have you enjoyed the most being on TechSim?
Yeah, TechSim is a very serious consultancy organization. I'm rating them as such because of the caliber of resource persons that have been mobilized to interact with us to discuss all the issues that are needed in building our leadership capacity further, in ensuring that the Tax Appeal Tribunal become the best adjudicator of taxes in Africa and even globally. So I am very, very much impressed with TechSim, and I recommend TechSim to other institutions that are serious about ensuring effective leadership and management.
Thank you. And what would you do differently back at home in work now that you've been on TechSim?
So TechSim, I cannot suggest any other name, but then to encourage them to continue to do very well, to continue to maintain their standard of providing their client with effective training using high-level resource person and providing all necessary facilities that we have seen today in this program for all the 5 days that we are interacting with them. So I encourage TAXM to continue to do well by ensuring that they maintain quality. So only quality people should be used, only quality input should be accepted, only quality output should be given to its client coming from different parts of the world.
Thank you very much. And is there anything else you'd like to say about TAXM?
Yeah, I think TAXM could be seen as a world leader in consultancy, particularly in the area of management and leadership training. And I want them to continue to do well so that in the event of assessment that will be conducted among consultants in that area, TAXM could be rated as number 1.
Hello, and would you like to tell us your name and your occupation, please?
Yes, I'm Julius Olatunde Otusanya. I'm a member of a tax appeal tribunal, originally an academic in University of Lagos, Nigeria.
Thank you very much. What did you like being on the program TAXM?
Well, it's a training session we had with TAXM. The training session has been very, very stimulating. We were able to gather a lot of, leadership and strategic information that will be very useful as a leader, in our respective organizations. And then the faculty member that, deliver the sessions are very, very active, energetic, and the lecture sessions are very stimulating and engaging.
Thank you. And what did you enjoy the most being on the program TAXM?
Well, like I said earlier, the sessions are very stimulating. It's very engaging. There are value added in terms of the content, and of course, like I said, the faculty member engage, deliver to expectations. There are value added in terms of, new knowledge, derived, which will be very, very helpful to participants in our respective organizations and in our individual future commitments.
Thank you. And what will you do differently back at home in Nigeria when you go back to work after being on the course of TAXM?
To my mind, I think I've now been empowered with a lot of leadership and strategic values, which of course putting them to use will be very, very nice in driving my organizations or my unit in my universities, and particularly as a member of a South-South zone of a tax appeal tribunal, in ensuring that we deliver our judgment, with the required dedication, transparency and accountability, and also to ensure that justice is adhered to in the course of our function as member of a tax appeal tribunal.
Thank you. And is there anything else you'd like to say about TAXM?
Well, TAXM is a good platform for advancing leadership training, and I would recommend TAXM for organizations or institutions that are, desirous for improving their workforce, in leadership and strategic policy making.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
TAXM, insights that inspire, actions that change the world.